Next one, some 90s cheese, the little Rascals. And the funny thing is you don't hear about anything of these kids anymore. They've disappeared. You know, this kid used to be on a lot of stuff. He used to be on Full House, and he ended up being in The Big Green later on. But the rest of these kids, you know, what happened to them. And it's a fun little movie. I just remember laughing at this, you know, when, you know, I was a little, you know, trying to think, 1994, so I was about 9-10 years old when this came out. And yeah, I just had a ball watching this. Next film up is The Close Encounters of the Third Kind. This is the 30th anniversary Ultimate Edition. This is the only version that has all 3 cuts. It's quite a, I think for a DVD this is quite an extensive package. There's about 3 DVDs, you know, for one for each cut of the movie. Of course, so why are you saying, if you haven't seen this, there was 3 different cuts because Spielberg, when he originally made it in 1977, he was under time constraints and money constraints. Yeah, time and money constraints. And in 1977, he couldn't get the film the way he wanted it. So what had happened was, 1977, the film was released, but however, it was not the way he wanted it presented. There was a lot of stuff that he wanted cut down and trimmed, taken out, and the stuff that didn't really make sense. However, still the film made a lot of money, and Columbia Pictures at the time was really riding on the success of this movie because Columbia Pictures was about to file for bankruptcy at the time. So they were really counting on this to help them, and it did. It got them out of the red and into the black, you know, financially. And then 3 years later, Spielberg says, you know, I have some time off. Can I go back and re-release Close Encounters with the way I wanted it to? Well, that's not exactly true. Still, because he ended up trimming stuff that he really liked, and he ended up taking stuff out that he really liked, putting stuff in that he really wanted in the first time, and he came up with, in 1980, the special edition, which is the shortest cut of all 3 versions. But however, he was displeased with what he had to do at the time. At the time, he said he described it as making a deal with the devil because he ended up putting in a scene that he didn't want to put in, and that, of course, if you've seen this version, is Richard Dreyfuss walking into the mothership and you seeing inside the mothership. Spielberg didn't want that. And so in 1997, for the film's 20th anniversary, they say 30th anniversary, but it's the 20th anniversary, you have the director's cut version, which is the ultimate version, and the way Spielberg really intended the film to be seen. And this is the version I always watch because I go with the director, what the director wants to show me. I did, however, watch the other 2 cuts. You know, definitely a special edition because I did want to check out that, you know, that scene where he walks into the mothership. And of course, this is a deluxe package, even for DVD. If you have the Blu-ray version, has all 3 movies on 1 disc, and all the special features are on another disc. So it's only 2 discs for the Blu-ray. DVD is 3 discs, and it doesn't have everything that the Blu-ray does because of technical reasons. This also comes with the 30th anniversary collector's book, and it has mostly cast bio and stills of the actors and behind-the-scenes photography. And of course, this is a cool thing. It has a poster. On one side, it has the comparison of all three cuts. As you can see, it has a timeline of all three cuts, and it has little descriptions of what changes were made and how they differ in the various versions. And if you flip the other side, you have a reprint of the original theatrical poster from 1977. Very cool package. I mean, this is probably one of my personal favorite DVD collections of a Spielberg movie. And I remember as a kid watching this, it kind of terrified me a little bit because of the scene where the little boy is abducted, which is, I'll show you here in a second. That scene right there. It's kind of freaky and all the noise that's going on. And the UFOs attacking the house. Not only that, it takes place in Muncie, Indiana. And I do not live too far away from Muncie, Indiana. Matter of fact, about a half-hour driving distance. Next film, the ultimate classic, The Goonies. This, of course, is just the standard DVD edition. I do not have the 25th anniversary edition. I think it's a little overpriced. Because basically you get this and some other stuff. But if you're just wanting the movie, you know, you can't go wrong. This is fun to watch, and you know, there's so many quotable lines. Like, shut up mouth, do the truffle shuffle. And, of course, you have the character Sloth, who's going, "8 Great movie. Next up, Men in Black. And this is the only one I have. I do not have Men in Black 2. I thought that one stunk. This one is better made. I'm sorry, but you don't take an sci-fi action film and turn it into a comedy. You don't do that. I liked the fact that it was an action adventure with comedic pieces, not have it just, you know, complete comedy. That was stupid. It didn't make any sense. But yeah, this has a lot of stuff in it for being a 2. I'm not going to pull it out. Of course, it has the Men in Black 2 teaser trailer, the original music video by Will Smith, commentary, and there's tons and tons of behind-the-scenes info, special effects, breakdowns, and art cards and sketches and things like that. It's loaded. Next one, the first time of Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg collaborating, Minority Report. And an enjoyable film. It's kind of a dark film. Some people that are true fans of Philip K. Dick really don't like this one too much because it's not very faithful. Because usually Philip K. Dick has a dark and depressing ending. This has a happy ending, which goes against the grain. This film is, I think it's enjoyable. I don't think it's definitely a dark film. It's okay. You know, if you like, it's got some cool action pieces, some cool visual effects in it, and you know, it's fun. It's a fun movie. Next up is 2005's Munich. I haven't really watched this one much. I know it's based on a true story about the what was 1972 Munich massacre with the Palestinians and the Israelis. And you know, this is one of the films Spielberg really came on some criticism. Matter of fact, he was attacked for making. They thought it was very disrespectful, and he says at the beginning of the DVD that he was not intending that at all. He said he put a, you know, he makes his mark where he stands with Israel. You know, he's a Jew and he's Jewish, so he's not going to put down Israel at all. But he definitely gives his opinion with that film, I think. Next up is Twister. I know, it's really bad. I was listening to some radio guys, and they broke this down, and they, you know, if you break it down, this is a terrible movie. It's terribly made. The only thing that really sold this movie was the special effects. You know, CGI had just taken off, or was only 6 years old, and it was, you know, they were pushing the limits to see what they could do with visual effects. And you know, because of Jurassic Park being the breakthrough in CGI creating creatures, next up was, you know, ILM taking and see what they could do even further with computer-generated imagery. And of course, now we start making tornadoes with Twister. And the film stars Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, and they play storm chasers, and they built this device called the Dorothy to help develop a early warning system for tornadoes. And the whole challenge is to getting this device for the tornadoes to take this device, and most of the tornadoes don't take it until the very end. And of course, there's some other villains and so on and so forth in this film. It's fun to watch, definitely because of the tornadoes. And we basically watch this, and you know, to see tornadoes just destroy stuff. We go, yeah, and we turn into Beavis and Butthead. And just going, yeah, destroy. Well, I think I'm going to stop right here, and we're going to go into the next video. So see you then.